Tina Cooks is made possible through the generous support of E.T. Cody & Sons Auto Parts, Leominster, Papa John's Pizza, Leominster and Fitchburg, Boucher Construction, Central Mass Sand and Gravel. Hi, welcome to Tina Cooks. Today we're doing dessert quickies. I have a chocolate cake baking in the oven because ordinarily I would go down to the supermarket and find a nice little small sponge cake, 2 of them they make strawberry shortcakes with, sold out. So I'm baking. But this is still a quickie because it's just a box recipe with a little bit of eggs, a little bit of oil, a little bit of water. And you bake them in the oven and they come out great. And those are my 2 cakes. I'm going to leave my oven on because over here I have puff pastry. This is a piece of puff pastry. You can find it in the frozen food section. If you want to take the time to make it homemade, good luck. This is a lot of work. It's a labor of love when you make a homemade puff pastry. I cheat. So that's why they're dessert quickies. Okay, so we're going to let that thaw. I'm going to let this rest because these are too hot to pull out of the cake pan right now. They just come out of the oven. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to make up some puddings. Okay? Okay. I'm going to get my milk. I use skim milk. You can use cream if you want. You can use regular milk. I'm partial to the skim milk because it's low in calorie and I need all the help I can get. Okay, so let me get a whisk right here. This is just lemon instant pudding. Very simple, and this is another reason why these are quick. They are light, so if you serve a heavy meal, these are good because they're light. They're nice around the holidays. They're nice for a birthday party. So we're going to actually make, with the pudding, we're going to make what I call Bonapartes. It's puff pastry and it's layered with fruit and pudding and cream. Very, very good. And the cakes we're going to make some quick ice cream cakes out of so that you can see how that's done. Very simple. Do them the day before. Sometimes I do a couple ahead just to have them because you never know who's dropping in this house. It's like the crazy place. Now, when I'm making a puff pastry or a filled dessert or a Mississippi mud or a lemon lush, I only use about 3 cups of milk. I don't use the full 4 cups because I want it thicker and I want it to have a concentrated flavor. So that's 2. That's 2. I do them both at the same time. Why not? That's 3. This ordinarily makes 4 cups, but like I said, I'm only putting 3 in. All right, so now I'm going to move this aside. Actually, I hate leaving the milk out in the warm. It makes me nervous. I like icy cold milk all the time. You're going to mix these up just a little bit. These are starting to unstick a little bit, you can see. I'm going to loosen the edges. There we go. All right. I'm going to get some plastic wrap. I'm going to cover these up. We're going to put them in the fridge. We're going to be ready to go. All right, our chocolate cakes have cooled. You just tap and put out, tap, put them out, drop crumbs everywhere. That's an essential part of baking. If you don't have crumbs on the floor and on your counter, people are going to think they're store-bought. Trust me. All right, right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a cream cheese type, little bit of light Cool Whip. I'm sorry, I'm not in a good light. I got to move my crumbs. See, you got to have crumbs. Okay, now I'm in a better light. This is a light Cool Whip, or a light whip. You can use real cream if you want. I think that this holds up much better. Now this isn't really soft, so I'm going to beat it up so that it gets soft. Okay, and if you just keep this going, it will put it into a nice, usually if this is softened the way it's supposed to be, it gets nice and creamy really quick. But as usual, I forgot to take it out. All right, so we're going to lower this down, and I'm going to take you need about a cup of this. So I'm guessing. If you want to measure, measure. I do everything by eye. I think it comes out better that way. And then you're going to just lightly mix this in. Because what this Cool Whip will do, or this whipped topping, is it is going to lighten the cream cheese up. Okay, so you're mixing this up. Okay, now when I mix a cream cheese, I like it more like a cheesecake. So if you taste this and you like cream cheese, it's very good. But I fixed the recipe. I like to add 2 tablespoons of confectionery sugar because it makes it a little sweeter. And it makes it a better consistency, I think. That's my opinion. This is how I do this recipe. And then you just keep mixing until it's nice and smooth. Okay, so now you can see that this is all nice and creamy and mixed together. Okay, and we're going to cover this with plastic. Oh, let me taste this. Mmm, good. We're going to start with the ice cream cakes, and we're going to start out by cutting this cake in half, okay? And I've cut this one in half because I wanted it to cool a little faster. Okay, try to do it evenly. Of course, I'm not really looking at it straight on. This one I've cut and cooled. Now, when I do an ice cream cake, I don't put it right into a dish or anything like that because it needs to freeze naturally. So I'll cut down some wax paper. And I'll cut down some aluminum foil, tin foil, aluminum foil. I'm going to use 2 because this is a big cake. And I want to make sure that the aluminum foil goes around the cake so that it's really covered because it's going to go into the freezer. Now when I make these, I do make 2 at a time because they freeze well, they stay well. So while you're investing the time in one, you might as well make a spare. And depending on ice cream and fruit and whatever you want to toss in there, it's totally up to you. I'm going to stick to basic ice cream. You can fold cookies in, candies in, whatever you want to take the time to do. I just want to show you one that's really quick. Okay. A lot of times you'll see they melt the ice cream down. I don't bother melting the ice cream down. I just get it out of the carton. This is a toffee Heath Bar chunk swirl. They have a lot of ice creams out there to choose from. You can pick an Oreo cookie one. You can pick whatever you want. Basically, I open the box up. I try to be a little careful because I want to be able to reclose it again. And then I just take my nice big chef's knife and I just cut up chunks about 1/2 inch. You just kind of like put that in the center. Okay, and then I'm going to cut up my ends. And basically what I do is I make the cake fit. Okay? I mean the ice cream fit. I don't know what I'm talking about. I make the ice cream fit around the cake. Okay, and you just kind of squish it in. Now these are kind of long. So we're going to come around here like this and just push it in a little bit. I know it kind of looks silly, but it really works out good, and it's better than melting it down and making it hard, and it's just, you know, you can't do that. I don't like doing that. I like to just work with what I got here. Now see, this is basically easy, and like I said, once you're doing this, you might as well make 2. because you got the stuff to do too, and they do freeze well. If you want, you can add nuts, you can add hot fudge, you can add fruit. Now this gets a little scary because this cake is not going to cooperate. Number one, because I'm on television, and number two, because I should have done this a little bit. Use the spatulas. There we go. And then what I do is I just make sure it's all nice and packed in there, nice and round, okay? Now I'm going to come around the other side only because I can't reach across my counter. I'm too short. All right, this is one. This is a chocolate and whatever I said the ice cream was. Fold in the wax paper like so, and then we're going to turn it. And we're going to take this and we're going to fold over the aluminum foil. Wrap it up like a little package. See, now how easy is this? I mean, you figure if you go in the supermarket and you're lucky enough to find the pre-cooked cakes, you're already a few steps ahead. Now, everybody's going to say, what is she going to do with that gallon? I'm going to do exactly what I did before. I'm going to wrap this up like so. Okay. If you have another container, put another container. Okay. And then I'm just going to, my towel. That's why I need my towel, because I get to be sloppy. So this I can just put right back in the freezer. If you want to put it in a container, put it in a container. Sometimes I'll take another bag and put it in a bag. But for right now, I'm putting it right here because I'm going to show you how to do another cake that I like to do. Now this I did buy, done. This is a pound cake, okay? Now this I like to get a little more crafty on. Get a bread slicer, okay? And you just kind of slice off the top here like this, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a knife and we're going to cut down in here, and down in here, and across, okay? Okay. Now I am going to use a spoon because I can't cut the bottom out. It's got to kind of like just come out, like that, okay? Scrape away. You want to leave some in the bottom. It's very important. Now, this is where you can use a pudding or a cream cheese or something like that. I'm going to put a fine, fine layer of the cream cheese and Cool Whip. The beginning of the show may have been a little confusing, but now you're going to understand why I did what I did. Because like I said, if you're concentrating on one dessert, now you can already see how thick this is. It's already getting nice and thick. Now I have crumbs in here, so I don't want the crumbs to contaminate the rest of my cream cheese, so I'm going to put what I think I need, okay? So this is going to have a cream cheese bottom. Oh, is that good? I'm going to put this back because I don't like to leave stuff out. All right. Then we're going to take vanilla ice cream, okay? I'm going to do the same thing. This is a French vanilla bean ice cream. Okay. Would help if they made these boxes so they came apart. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this piece of cake and I'm going to measure. Oops, I don't want chocolate on my vanilla. I'm kind of a pain about that kind of stuff. We're going to cut down the ice cream this way. Then I'm going to take the ice cream off and I'm going to cut it down this way. And I'm going to take this piece of ice cream and I'm going to put it right in there like that. All right? And I'm going to put the top back on. Now what you have here is a cream cheese base, a vanilla ice cream layer. And then I'm going to take some fruit, which is what I'm going to show you next. And we're going to sprinkle some sugar on, just frozen fruit, sprinkle some sugar and let them thaw. And then you're going to see, we're going to have some great desserts. You're going to be impressed, I think. These are quick and easy for me. All righty. We're going to just wrap this up. Don't throw this away. Save this, because I'll show you what we're going to do with that, too. I have strawberries already thawed in the refrigerator, but I wanted to show you that just take a bag of frozen berries. These are a little bit mixed. And then I sprinkle, of course my sugar's a little hard there. Sprinkle some sugar on them. And then you're just going to let them thaw. And they'll thaw nicely. If you want to thicken that, just put a little, bring them to a boil on a pan, a little cornstarch and water, and it'll be thicker. I just like the natural juices. I don't like it real thick. Okay, we're going to clean up this mess, and we'll be back in a few to finish up the other desserts. Okay, now this puff pastry has been resting about maybe a half an hour or so, because you want it to thaw, okay? And we're going to take it out of the cookie sheet. We're going to spread it out. Hopefully I'll be able to. It didn't go too far. With all the ice cream cakes, it may have gone a little bit too long, but that's okay. No, it seems fine. Okay. Now what I do is I cut it into 3 strips. Now a lot of times you'll see chefs or cooks work with puff pastry, and they do a process called docking, which is poking holes in them. I don't do that. I like my puff pastry nice and high. When you dock it, it keeps it flat and crisp. I like mine puffy and flaky. So we're going to see how that comes out. Okay, so we're going to spray this down with Pam. Of course, you want the thing going in the right way. Okay. I have my oven on about maybe 375 because I'm convection baking. When you oven bake, you want to use 400. So we're going to put this into a 375 convection or 400 degrees in a regular oven. We're going to pop this in. We're going to let them go about 15 minutes, and we'll be back to pull them out. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes or so. See how nice and golden brown and puffy those are? Makes great desserts. Alrighty. You could also cut these into shapes if you wanted to, if you want to have individual servings. This is going to be, what we're going to do is we're actually going to let these cool, and then we're going to cut them in half, and we're going to stack them 3 high. Wait till you see how wonderful these turn out. So this will stop all the confusion of all the mixings of all the puddings and fillings, and because the ideas you can do with the cakes and these puff pastry Bonapartes are endless between the different flavors of puddings, the different fruits, the different ice creams. Just get creative, and they are really simple if you're doing one at a time. And we're going to let these cool, and we'll come back and do that. Okay, so our puff pastry has baked and cooled, and now we're going to frost 2 of the best tops. So what I normally do is take one and cut it in half. Okay, we'll use that one. This one's a little, let's see, I don't know, bubbly, I think. I want them to be on the top, so I want the best ones. 2. We're going to actually frost these real quick, and then I'll show you how we're going to set up the different desserts. I usually add just like a drop of lemon extract. Lemon extract. It's pure lemon extract. And then I usually put like a drop of oil because the oil stops it from getting crunchy. You don't want it real crunchy. Okay. Then you're going to add a tish of milk. It's kind of like the biscotti frosting. And you want this a little bit thick, so don't add too much milk till you see how thick it's going to be. As far as a recipe on this, you got to taste it and you got to just mix it up. Because I don't know, sometimes it's a little less milk, a little more milk, you just don't know. So I'm literally drizzling in a few drops at a time. This is perfect. This texture is nice and smooth, not too watery, and it's not too thin. So then you're going to take the back of your spoon, and you're going to just put it on here and spread it out. Just like so. And if you need a little more, just make a little more. You can drizzle chocolate on this. Oops, I'm pulling up my puff pastry. Gotta be careful. But that's all right. You know how we're gonna fix this one? Jimmies. Take a little bit of Jimmies. Okay, now remember how I told you to save these 2 little chunks of cake? Well, this is just an idea. You can get more cake if you want, if you decide to do it. We're going to take a real nice little fancy glass, and we're going to cut the cakes into little cubes. Oops, let me move the glass so Carl can see. Okay. Alrighty. Then we're going to take the glass, and we're going to put a little bit of cake in there, like so. And we're going to work with chocolate with this, because I like chocolate. This is the chocolate pudding. You're going to notice how nice and thick it is, okay? And we're going to put a nice thick glob of chocolate on there. And then I've got a Butterfinger. This is the best way to do these when you're doing cakes. Let me do it on the counter. It'll make less noise. Just tap your knife across it. Then you open the top. If you have, fingers that can open things. If not, thank God for my trusty scissors. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit of Butterfingers on there. Okay. And then we're going to do a little more cake. All right. And we're going to take a little bit of this cream cheese mixture. And we're going to take a little bit of the chocolate mixture. And we're going to kind of like blend those together, but don't fully blend them. You want them like swirled. Okay? Then you're going to take that and you're going to scoop that in there. Okay? And then we're going to take some whipped topping. Okay? And we're going to put a big dollop of whipped topping on there. Okay? Like that. Then we're going to do a little small dollop of chocolate pudding. Then we're going to take some Butterfingers, and then we're going to take a couple of nuts, and we're going to grate them right on the top. Okay? And this is one. And I'm going to work on one of the Bonapartes. I think I will go with the lemon one. Okay? We're going to take a bottom shell, all right? We're going to take a cream cheese layer, and we're going to put it in the bottom. The reason why I'm doing the lemon one is because I want to show you what it's like with fruit. The chocolate will be similar to the one with the cake, but it really isn't, so I'll cut off a little square of the chocolate one and show you. So you put a cream cheese layer, okay? Then we're going to take lemon, and we're going to scoop that in here and layer it in. See how nice and thick this is? If you want to thin it down with a Cool Whip, you can, or whipped topping, you can. But I always make the bottom on the cream cheese a little really intense in flavor. Now this fruit is just the one that we thought out. It's not anything, just nice and light. If you want to slice your tomatoes in half a little bit, okay, you're just going to put that right on here.
Not tomatoes.
I'm sorry. They're not tomatoes, they're strawberries. That's why I don't bake. I'd rather be cooking. Okay. All right. We need some berries in there. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to take another layer, and I'm going to put this on top like that. I'm going to put some cream on this, okay, to top it off because I like cream on it. And there we go. And then what what we'll do is we'll just take a cap. No, I'm going to do another layer. I usually do 2 layers. Do 2 layers of this. And this is number 2. Okay? I'm going to take a little chunk of the chocolate here just to show you the chocolate one. And we'll cap that one off. So you can make them individual too. Okay? Now we have the ice cream cake. I've had them sitting out a little bit so that they can come to not room temperature, you don't want them room temperature, but you want them so you can cut them up. Now, ordinarily, if you have a big crowd, you could just take whipped topping and put it all over the top with some chocolate or sprinkles and serve them. But in this case, I'm just going to cut off a piece. Okay. Get a nice thick chocolate cake there. I'm going to put some Butterfingers on the side of the dish. I'm going to put some whipped topping on top. And I am going to grate some white chocolate on the top of that with a little bit of nuts that are left over in here. See, and you just put it all over the top. And this is another ice. You could put hot fudge, whatever. That's the chocolate. Now I'm just going to show you how the little angel cake, the little pound cake came out. Okay. Now this is another thing you could just frost with the Cool Whip or the whipped topping, which I think I might. You just put it right on top. And you're going to just cut off a piece like that. Then we're going to put this in. You see you get the nice little chunk of ice cream in there? Okay? This one I want to use just strawberries, not tomatoes, strawberries. Because the pound cake, it's more dense. It's not nice and soft like a cake, even though I hate wet cake. All right, we can put a little bit of white chocolate on there too, just to snazz it up. Now these are very quick and easy desserts. I worked about maybe 20-25 minutes in prep, but look what you got. These are my dessert quickies. I'm going to try the cake leftover surprise. Very good. Thank you for watching Tina Cook. If I haven't returned a call, or I haven't emailed a recipe, or I haven't gotten back to you, please try me again. It's very possible I didn't get the message, or I may have lost your phone number. I do that from time to time, misplace stuff. Hi, welcome to Tina Cooks. Today we're going to do dessert quickies. I don't like that. Start off. What was I thinking? I don't know what I just did, but it's going to be hysterical as a blooper.